Welcome back to DJ Carl Play Legacy. Today we have Josh on 4-color Beanstalk with David on Cephalid Breakfast. For Josh's opening hand, we have Orcish Bowmasters, Up to Beanstalk, Swords to Plowshares, Brainstorm, Ponder, Misty Rainforest, and a Bayou. The mulligan down to 6, Josh is going to be scrying the swords to the bottom. David's opening hand, we have 2 Force of Will, Teferi Time Raveler, Dread Return, Narcomoeba, Tundra, and an Island. With a mulligan down to 5, David's going to be scrying the Dread Return and Narcomoeba to the bottom. Josh on the play, we're going to be starting off with a Misty Rainforest. Going to crack it down to 19. Getting a Tundra. And starting off with a Ponder. He'll be keeping the cards on top and drawing, and then pass the turn from there. David will untap and draw. He'll play an island and pass the turn. Josh will untap and draw. Play a Bayou. And cast an Up the Beanstalk. David's going to go ahead and respond with a Force of Will, pitching a Narcomoeba, and paying 1 life. That'll resolve. Josh will pass the turn. David will untap and draw, play a Plains, and pass. Looks like Josh is just going to pass the turn. David will untap and draw. He'll play a Tundra. And cast a Teferi Time Raveler. Josh will respond with an Orcish Bowmasters. ETB, he'll ping David for 1 and make an Orc Army token. Teferi resolves. David's just going to plus and pass turn. Josh will untap and draw. And cast a Ponder. Keeping the cards on top, he'll draw a card. He'll then play a Floodstrand. He'll crack the Floodstrand, going down to 18. Grab another Tundra. And cast a Leyline Binding. That'll resolve. He'll target the Teferi. He'll go to combat and attack for 2. David down to 16 and pass turn. David will untap and draw. Play a Floodstrand. And pass turn. Josh will untap and draw. And cast a Brainstorm. He'll then follow it up by cycling the Lauren Revealed. He'll get an Underground Sea to his hand. He'll play the Underground Sea. He'll go to combat, attack for 2, putting David down to 14. Second main phase, he's going to cast a Murktide Regent. That'll resolve, so the Murktide will come in with 4 counters on it. And he'll pass turn from there. End step, David's going to Wizard Cycle the step through. He'll untap and draw. He'll start off his turn by casting a Brainstorm. So he'll draw 3, put 2 back, which will trigger the Bowmasters. Josh will target David with the 3 triggers off of that. David will then concede the game from there. For game 2, Josh is going to be taking out a Teferi Time Raveler, 2 Triumph of St. Catherine, 1 Terminus, and a Plains, bringing in 1 Opposition Agent, 2 Surgical Extraction, and 2 Pernicious Deed. For David, he's going to be taking out 2 Teferi Time Raveler and 2 Step Through, bringing in 3 Swords to Plowshares and a Prismatic Ending. Opening hand for game 2, Josh has Orcish Bowmasters, Surgical Extraction, Murktide Regent, Underground Sea, Ponder, Scrubland, and a Polluted Delta. For David, we have a hand of 2 Force of Will, 1 Nomad's Encore, Dread Return, Stoneforge Mystic, Tundra, and a Swords to Plowshares. With the mulligan down to 6, he'll put the Dread Return on the bottom. For David, he's going to be starting off playing a Tundra and then casting the Nomad's Encore. That'll resolve, he'll pass turn. Josh will untap and draw, play an Underground Sea, and pass turn. David will untap and draw. Move to combat, attack for 1, putting Josh at 19. He'll pass turn from there. Josh will untap and draw. Start off by playing a Scrubland, and then pass turn from there. David will untap and draw. Go to combat, attack for 1. Josh will take it down to 18. David will pass turn from there. At his end step, Josh is going to cast the Orcish Bowmasters. That'll resolve. ETB, Josh will ping the Nomad. Josh will ping the Nomad's Encore with the trigger. Josh will then untap and draw. And start his turn off with a Ponder. Josh will take a Shuffle and draw a card. He'll then play a Polluted Delta, move to combat, attack for 2. David will take it down to 18, and he'll pass a turn. At end step, David's going to Swords to Plowshares the Orcish Bowmaster. That'll resolve. Josh will go to 19. David will untap and draw. David will start off by casting a Brainstorm. That'll resolve. David will pass turn from there. At David's end step, Josh is going to cycle Lorien Reveal, getting a Tropical Island. Additionally, he will crack the Polluted Delta down to 18 and fetch up a Tundra. Josh will go ahead and untap and draw. He'll play a tropical island, move to combat, attack for 1, David down to 17. Second main phase, Josh is going to cast a Brainstorm. Josh will then cast a Murktide Regent. David will go ahead and cast a Force of Will, pitching a Force of Will and paying 1 life, countering the Murktide Regent. Josh will pass turn from there. David will untap and draw. David will start off by playing a Nomad's Encore and passing the turn. Josh will untap and draw. He'll play a Polluted Delta, move to combat, attack for 1. David will take it down to 15. Josh will then crack the Polluted Delta, going down to 17. Grab a tropical island. And he'll start off with casting an Up the Beanstalk. That'll resolve. ETB, he'll draw a card. He'll then pass a turn. David will untap and draw. He'll go to combat, attack for 1. Josh on a 16. David will pass a turn. At end step, Josh is going to cast an Orcish Bowmasters. That'll resolve. ETB, he'll ping the Nomads. And with priority at his end step, David's going to go ahead and cast a Swords to Plowshares targeting the Orcish Bowmasters. That'll resolve. Josh will go up to 17. Josh will then untap and draw. Go to combat for 2. David down to 13. Second main phase, Josh is going to play a Tundra and cast another Up the Beanstalk. That'll resolve. ETB, he'll draw a card. And he'll pass a turn. David will untap and draw. Finally hitting that second land of an island. He'll cast a Stoneforge Mystic. That'll resolve. David will search his library for an equipment, getting a Shuko. He'll then pass a turn. At end step, Josh is going to cast a Leyland Binding with 2 cast triggers on the Beanstalks. Binding resolves. He'll target the Stoneforge Mystic. He'll then untap and draw. He'll start his turn off by casting a Ponder. He'll keep the cards on top and draw. Move in combat. He'll attack for 2. David down to 11. Second main phase, Josh is going to cycle Alluring Reveal. He'll grab an Underground Sea. He'll then play the Underground Sea. He'll then cast a Murktide Regent. exiling 2 instant sorceries, getting 2 counters. David's going to go ahead and cast Force of Will. That'll resolve, countering the Murktide. Josh will pass his turn. Oh, forgot the 2 draw triggers off the Up the Beanstalk. Dave will start off by casting a Shuko. That'll resolve, Dave will pass his turn. End step, Josh is going to cast another Leyline Binding. 2 draw triggers off the Beanstalks. That'll resolve, he'll target the Shuko. Josh will go ahead and untap and draw. Josh will then play a Savannah. Josh will start with casting a Ponder. Keeping the cards on top, you'll draw a card. Josh will then cast a Pernicious Deed. That'll resolve. Josh will go to combat, attack for 2. David down to 8. He'll pass turn. David will untap and draw. Casting a Brainstorm. Josh will cast an Orcish Bowmasters in response. That'll resolve. ETB, he'll ping David for 1, getting another counter on the army. Brainstorm will resolve. David will draw 3. Concede the game from there. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.